First warm up I want you to do is really work on hip circles. So we're going to loosen up around the joints of the hip here. Just kind of getting that thigh to raise up and work it around in a circle. So we'll work on some external as well as some internal rotations or circles here with the hips. Alright, we'll make sure we'll do both legs. Really want to kind of loosen up some of the hip muscles, kind of loosen up around the joint. Get that range of motion, kind of lubricate the joint a little bit. Get some of those muscles just kind of activated. You'll notice that your supportive glute will start to really kind of kick in, and you'll start to wake that up, which is going to be really good for you during your run. The more you can kind of get those muscles tuned in, the better. So what I'm really focusing on here is raising that knee up to about hip level, and then I'm going to turn my thigh, my knee, my heel, everything kind of all in line, and trying to keep that foot relaxed underneath the knee as I swing it back around. You're just going to come back underneath. So up, rotate out as far as I can without turning my hips, and back underneath. So about 6 to 8 circles that way, and then I want you to circle forward, and we're going to work those internal rotations. So it's turn my toe out, rotate that femur, lift, and swing it through. Finish right through the middle. Just keep going. All right. Using a dowel for balance, just so I stay upright and not trying to trip around. Don't waste any time. Okay, about 6 to 8 each side, and then switch legs. Again, let's get that external rotation, work that range of motion. Good. And then finish it off with some internal rotation. If you feel any clicking or popping in the hips, it's special note to just maybe don't lift your knees so high. All right, so we're not having the ball of the femur really roll into the ball joint there. All right, you don't want to cause any friction on the ligaments or the tendons. So you just want to kind of loosen things up here. So the next exercise I want to get into loosening up is kind of more of the track leg swings. So I want to really pull my hip flexor through full range and then kick back my glute. So you're going to have a straight leg effect. Swing it right underneath the hip. Pull it through as high as you can. Just get 6 to 8 full swings from a side view. You see the depth. Trying to keep my leg as straight as possible. You're going to notice some tension in the hamstring and glutes. But you're really just trying to keep the posture upright and not having the torso just kind of fore and aft too much, all right? So 6 to 8, and then switch legs, pull the dowel to the other side. And just feel like it gradually gets opened up a little bit more, a little bit more.
On YouTube or what?
Yeah.
Do you have a channel?
Yeah. Alright guys, so now you're going to work on the abductors and adductors, swinging the legs across and away. So I'm going to stand on the one leg. You're going to pull the left foot in front, so it's slightly out in front of your right. Keep the leg straight. You just kind of tug it over across your body a little bit to feel the inner stretch on the groin. And then you're going to swing out as far as you feel like you can with that abduction. Alright, really working that glute medius to stretch out a bit. Alright, meanwhile I'm trying to stabilize my posture, my balance through my hips and not let my torso wiggle too much, wobble. Alright, just kind of work through that range, really focusing on how wide away adduction you can get. Alright, and then switching legs after about 6 to 8 of those. This is a good one if you're really tight around the IT band, loosens things up, helps a lot. Good, you just don't want to overdo it, just nice and gentle in that. So the next warm-up you want to go into now, you want to start to work on more of the muscles of the legs, all right, getting involved with the kinetic chain there. So everything on the front side, it'll either be your quads, your ankle, your knee, all right, hip flexors, even in your backside, calves, hamstrings, glutes, all right. Kind of working through all those muscle groups. We're going for balance, stability, and dynamic pattern, all right, very similar to what happens when you're running, just to a greater extreme, all right. So we're going to go into lunges or split squats. For beginners, I like to start off having them do split squats. Let me see if I can tilt the camera down just a little bit here, get a little bit better angle. All right, so you guys see what I'm working on? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to step out long enough, all right, but I'm not going to let my feet get too wide. I want to stay narrow with my toes facing forward. Make sure my hips are squared up straight in front, my shoulders are tall, right over my hips. All right, and I usually just kind of put my hands out in front to engage my core, so I press my palms together. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do like a lunge, so we're just going to stay in place though. So you're going to sink down into this little split squat stance. I'm really focusing on not letting this front knee move forward over my toe. I want to stay back, keeping the pressure on my heel, all right, but still want to stay balanced through the hips. So you want to activate all the stabilizers of the hips, up and down, working through that range. From the side, you'll see the angles. I want to get far enough out that I get 90 degrees, and then both knees, all right, the back knee is underneath my hips, front knee does not move forward, what you're going for right there. About 6 to 8 on each leg with those. After the lunges and kind of going into the warm-ups, continue to progress. Now we want to work inner thigh, all right, groin area, kind of warming that up since that's so susceptible to being pulled, even just one little slip, all right, one little extra long step. That's all it takes to tweak something there, especially in the outside. The IT bands still need to be a little work. All right, get the glutes activated, the quads going. So we're going to work more on the lateral edges of the thigh. So what I want to do is I want to go into like this crouch shuffle position. So you're going to stay low, crouched. All right, step out nice and wide. You can come in, Hannah. Good. Shift your hips over, all right, and then pull it in, and then you'll stand up, okay? And what you're going to be feeling is pretty much everything in the legs kind of really firing up, all right, getting warmed up excessively. And you're going to feel that be almost like a strength exercise. All right, it really is good development for building up all the stabilizer strength and even just quad strength. All right, working on your squats and lunges a little bit, okay? Lateral movements, very helpful for runners. We don't do enough of them typically, all right? And so you can just do it back and forth in place, or what I like to do is about 20 yards out and just kind of keep carrying myself in a little chain. And I just want to stay low, crawl it out, shift, stay crouched, take that next step. So from the side, you'll see the posture, trying to keep the chest up as much as possible, sit the hips back just like a squat, reach that foot out, shift my hips, pull it in, I'm trying to stay low, just keep marking my way down, all right? 6 of those in a row, you're gonna feel it in the legs a lot. That'll really start creating a burn. You'll get a good sweat going. Now we want to kind of get into some more activity. We want to get the heart rate up a little bit more. Really emphasize that warm-up effect for the legs so they're tuned in, ready to go for a run. So the next thing I want to kind of do is get those light plyometrics. Really work on that ground contact time feature, okay? Ground contact time is how long your foot spends on the ground and how effectively you can apply force off the ground to get off the ground quickly. It really generates that propulsion when you're running. All right, minimizes that impact force, so it improves your efficiency when you're running. So these are great drills to kind of incorporate that and start to make you feel the response off the ground a little quicker. So very helpful. 1-0 classic, all right, work on that high knees, but you don't want to do this half effort. You don't really want to do this like really mild. You got to be in tune, you got to be direct, all right? So you want to be aggressive with it. You want to be upright, tall posture. I want to move my weight forward on the balls of my feet so I'm not kind of standing just on my heels. I want to feel like I got that spring-like effect on the balls of your feet. Okay, you're kind of leaning in a little bit, just a tiny bit. We're going to get those arms cocked back. You're going to drive them through like you're going to be sprinting through, all right? We're going to get that high cadence now. So ground contact time and high cadence, very synonymous with those kinds of drills. So what we're going to do is be on the balls of the feet. You're going to bring that knee up high. And I want to send it down to the ground as quick as possible. Get it off the ground as quick as possible, all right? You're going to choose about 20 feet, 30 feet, all right? The goal is to get as many as you can in that distance, not how fast you get there, okay? So go for high repetitions, a very short little move forward, all right? So all in all, let's get that preparatory lean in, drive it up, get the feet off the ground quickly. All right, so you're going to do that about twice, going down and back, a little break in between, you'll be good. All right, right after the high knees, go into butt kickers, guys. Same initial starting position, all right? Leaning forward a little bit, nice and tall posture. You're gonna drive the arms. You're still gonna work that quick cadence, quick contact time, but now we're gonna pull that hamstring high, okay? So you're gonna shorten that hamstring muscle. You're gonna really tuck that heel in. What we're going for is really try to bring that heel up, almost touch your butt or touch your butt. All right, snap it back and then get back down on the ground real quickly. All right, if I walk back, again, choose 20, 30 feet and just go that high cadence. You're gonna lean in a little bit more on this one. Really snap that heel straight back, okay? Try not to get in that habit of slapping around in like little rotations here. All right, it's not an effective way to use the hamstrings. When we run, we want to drive, use that hamstring as a good propulsion, so you want to snap it back. All right, nice, good posture. Okay, one more good drill to kind of incorporate before you start running. All right, this is what I like to do with the karaoke. So, especially in the wintertime when you got the ice or the unpacked snow, or different kinds of terrain going on, or if you're on the trail, all right? A lot of times there's always adjustments to be made. Every foot fall is a little different from the previous. So you want to really work on the stabilizers around the ankle, all right? You want to work on that muscle coordination, all right? So you got that brain firing to the muscles, teaching the coordination, keeping that high cadence in mind. So you can make little adjustments over time rather than long strides and not having enough time to make a proper adjustment. That's typically what leads up to a slip out, all right? What leads to a little pull or strain. So we want to prevent that. So we want to prepare the body better. So the best way we're going to do that is kind of incorporate some karaoke variations. One is just a simple crossover. If you can see my feet, stepping the outside foot over in front, then you're going to bring the inside leg out, and then you're going to swing behind with the other leg. So you're kind of alternating the swing pattern of your feet over and over, all right? But now we're going to be up on the ball of the feet. We're going to do it very quickly. So you really want to kind of be up here on the ball of the feet. You want to have the quickest little coordination drill possible. All right, really working on swiveling the hips, getting those hips turned quickly. You're going to counter it with your obliques and your torso, all right? Getting that core involved a little bit more. So arms going to stay right by your side, all right? You're just going to quick little feet, so crossover, little steps. It's about as many as you can get, staying tight, all right? You're going to look like a little football player in the agility ladder, all right? Don't worry about it. You're focusing on doing what you got to do. Keep your ankles, healthy. Build up that support in the feet, all right? Just get the swivels. Make sure you do both directions so you lead both legs, all right? Really get those legs, those calves to fire up.